Welcome to Dig This, a podcast by La Quarry. Today we're following up on some coverage that we did of the project down at the Grande Mare, and joining me is Grace.
Hello.
Hey. Now you've had a really interesting role down at the golf course development on the ecological environmental side. Tell me how that came about.
So my job title is actually like Ecologist and Environmental and Sustainability Operations Manager. So how I came about this job was actually I was finishing off my Masters in 2020, and obviously COVID hit, so halfway through my Masters I had to come home. And I was planning on going to do some work in Africa. And obviously with COVID restrictions and stuff, that couldn't happen. So then I knew Steve was buying the Grande Mare, so I kind of saw that as an opportunity. Because to be honest, I was like, I've done like 2 degrees. I was like, I don't particularly want to stay in go to finance or do another job. I was like really quite passionate on doing the environment and sustainability. So I went to him and said, look, I think you've got like a really good piece of land here. Would you be interested in me looking at all the flora and fauna? And also he's got interests in Africa as well, which is what I do also. So I've got interest in Africa. So that's also another topic that came about as well. But so I started working from September 2020, and just to get an idea of the site, getting baseline data, and then from April 2021, I was offered a job, a full-time job at the family office.
It sounds like a reasonably unusual role with a golf course development as well, is it?
Yeah, no, it is. So, funny enough, I don't play golf at all, but I've spoken to a lot of golf course people, and I think it's quite unusual to have an in-house ecologist, ecologist sustainability role full-time. Normally you would contract that in and out. I've spoken to a lot of people, and it's quite a unique role, but I think that's what makes us unique about the Grande Mare as well.
I guess, take me through what you found when you were first down there as well, in terms of the baseline that you were establishing.
Yeah, so with the whole baseline, so I had to, I still do, I implement all bat surveys, bird surveys, all vegetation surveys, newts, invertebrates, all water sampling, all that kind of stuff. So we found really interesting species at the start. Obviously we have our orchids, and then obviously from the start we started seeing more like butterflies. So I think we've recorded 19 species of butterfly, and then like 7 species of bat. Literally recorded over 300 invertebrates since 2021. So the first year, I think we recorded about 116. And as of this year, we're halfway through the season now, and I've just recorded over 150. And that's just halfway through the season. So I'm really excited. I'm really happy. So it was really nice to see all the baseline stuff at the start was all generally quite positive, which gave us a good idea how we can implement the design, help with the design of the course, and mitigate certain measures around the course when it was developing.
So let's dig into that a little bit more, right? On a day-to-day basis, how does your role work?
Very varied. So my busiest time, I would say, is between March to September. So on a day-to-day, so that's when I'll kind of plan out my whole 6 months, and with all the surveys that I've said, and then also going down on site, chatting to all the greenkeepers and the landscapers about all the general wildlife, giving them educational talks, and just chatting to them in general, like what to look out for, like especially like during breeding season, and also to look at what the ponds, because we've got smooth newts. So I'll be like, the smooth newts are here, so you can't touch that area for a certain amount of time. But yeah, that's what we kind of do like now. When it was more construction time, I was more out on the course every day, kind of doing like watching briefs, making sure it was all compliant with everything with wildlife law, and just kind of answering any queries, questions from the contract team, because they were all, again, when I did like presentations to them to educate them on the general wildlife law, and they were, after that, it was quite nice. They were all quite interested. So they even like told me things that they'd seen out on the course, and actually the greenkeepers do now and the landscapers still do now. So it's actually really nice that I've engaged them.
I mean, I guess that helps develop the whole philosophy down there as well. So are there any particular aspects of the design of the course that you can pinpoint that has led to a positive in terms of the wildlife?
Oh, so our ponds. Yeah, our ponds have been absolutely amazing. So we've created 4 new ponds and enhanced 3 of them. So basically we've made 3 ponds bigger and we've had 4 new ponds. And honestly, the success from that with the dragonfly and damselfly species and like numbers, I've been really really happy about. It's been so positive. And with our to help our like ponds establish a bit more quicker, we've put in coir rolls, which is a product that has coconut hericin, and it goes around the pond and you can pre-plant them. And what we did was we did a bespoke seed mix to Guernsey, so it was made sure it was all native. And now I think we've implemented them 2 years ago, so they're in their 3rd year, and it's a massive hit with dragonflies, damselflies. We have all of our coots breeding in them and our moorhens, and then we've got some reed warblers in there as well. So it's all being that the pond side of it is very, very positive, and our tree planting as well.
Talk to me a bit about the tree planting as well. Yeah.
So we have planted so far, I need to get my number, over 1,500 species of tree. So that includes like English oak, alder, silver and downy birch, hornbeam hazel. So we've got a variety. We do put in a mixture of species of tree to bulk up our diversity. But also another thing that we do with the tree planting is, so all the oaks and hawthorn that we had on site, we actually collected all of the seed, and we started propagating our own trees in our nursery. So it's actually quite nice. We're starting to grow our like English oaks, and then we can like put them back out on site, which is really nice.
What was the landscape down there before the development? I remember there was some talk about the tree species that were down there and how they looked, and there was one particular dominant species as well.
Yeah, so there was so we still have the tamarisk. So the tamarisk are along the front because they're a really good coastal tree, because they support all the wind and the salt that comes from the coast. So that's like our main barrier. So we kept those at the front, and there are some a little bit towards the back as well. But actually in the course where it divided the course, they were just poorly managed in terms of they were hard to cut around the course. So we actually removed them, but actually we have maintained all the tamarisk around the boundary because they hold such a value for the defence for the front of the course, because the front of the course is so harsh with your wind, your salt and all that kind of stuff. So
there was another project there as well about orchids.
Yeah, so our orchids. So we have a site of special significance. So part of our work at the Grande Mare is I carry out orchid surveys, and we have we have a offset area as well where I actually moved over 100 orchids into a little area. And managed it as I would our normal Triple S, and they did really well. They've been doing really well. So put in 100 in 2022, and now that I've just finished this year's survey, and I have 175. So I was really, really happy with that. And also with a new habitat I've created elsewhere on the course, this year I recorded 12 new locations there. So that in itself I was really, really happy with. So I know that what I'm doing is working. Also within our Triple S that we have on site, I do a lot of site-specific management for that now. So I do removal of hemlock, water-drop wort, which is it's a native plant, but it likes to thrive in wet conditions. So it doesn't particularly bode well for our delicate orchids. So by hand we remove all the hemlock, and also we do general management of that area. So we cut it once a year, and the hay bales go to soil farm, and then they can use it for composting and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's my little orchid project.
It kind of like fits quite neatly into the next question I was going to ask you about, like how you've worked with other community groups down there as well.
Yeah, so from the start, we've been working with Pollinator Project. So they've been absolutely amazing with helping me with surveys, especially with the invertebrates. Pollinator Project come with me once a week from April to around end of September, weekly. And we just do a weekly walk around the course and record all the invertebrates, which is really lovely. And obviously that's helped us enable to put our work together for the put all the data together for the management plan. So they've kind of advised like, oh, have you thought about doing this? And we're like, yeah, we'll take that on board. Thank you very much. And it's been like really, really useful. We also do work with the Biological Record Centre. So all the data that I have collected, I have now finally started like putting it into the Record Centre. When you have data from 2021, it's quite a lot to go through and try and put a process together, but finally we're starting to do that now. So that's really good as well.
Is there any new projects or areas you'd like to work on down there as well?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think more projects will come up when the golf course is open, because then that might give me a bit more leeway on how the course plays.
Sure, yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
There will always be an opportunity for that, I think. I will always monitor all the flora and fauna down there on site. So it's kind of just like see what rises when the golf course opens and all that kind of stuff. So.
And do you have much input into how the course is, I guess, managed on a day-to-day basis? Because I guess there's a tension between wanting a perfect playing surface and like the ecological side of things.
Yeah, no, there is, but I think at the moment, I think we are at a really good place. So what I've done is obviously I've collected data since 2021. And all of that data that I've collected, that's enabled me to put forward management practices that will be applicable for the golf course. So for example, I go out with Rick, who's the course manager, and our head of landscaping as well. And we literally created a hole-by-hole management plan specifically for the greenkeepers and the landscapers for each hole for the ecological side of things. Sure. So that will run alongside their fairway, tees and greens management plan as well. So each hole has like all the habitats on it, any important flora or fauna that's residing there, and then also like a timetable of like all the seasonal work. So that needs to be done in that hole at certain times of year. So most of the work that needs to be done is obviously between autumn and winter. So it's normally like in that sense, but so we've just implemented that. So this the first year is going to be the first year of proper management, which I'm very excited for.
Yeah, I guess like once you've got players on the course and everything else like that, it's like something to learn from as well. Water's always been like quite a major environmental impact of golf. So what's happening down down the course tonight?
So we have obviously got 4 new ponds, and we've made 3 ponds bigger. So that enables us to hold more water, which has enabled us to become so self-sufficient. So we don't have to rely on like Guernsey Water giving us water down from the reservoir, which is a plus in our eyes. We've also got a new irrigation system which helps us measure and manage the water. So, for example, like on one of the greens, the greenkeepers can go round with this little pogo stick and do measurements in the greens, and it will give a reading of where specifically on the green needs more water. So you're not just wasting water just going all over the green, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So from that perspective, we are measuring and using water very accurately around the course, and we only water places that really need to be watered, for example, the tees, the greens, the fairways. But again, that's kind of like looking at it from a seasonal basis as well, and also holding our water. So we get a lot of water in the winter because we're obviously in a valley, so we get everybody's water. So it's actually how can we hold that water all year round. So that's with our new ponds and with our new irrigation system. So yeah, it's quite impressive, our new system, which I'm very happy with.
It's all good. Have they ever pushed back on any of your suggestions down there? Is there?
Ooh. I wouldn't say push back. I would say we've probably come to and we've negotiated, obviously, but it's always from a player perspective. So I'm like, well, why can't I plant that tree there? And they're like, because when you play, it will go in there, and then you're just like, it will just trample the habitat anywhere. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
but I'm like, alternatively, can I put something else here? And they're like, yeah, that will work. So it's not necessarily pushback. It's more of like we compromise on things. Sure. That was that was an interesting question.
So when, obviously the country club's going to open 2027, isn't it? People will come to play golf, but do you want them to come and notice and appreciate the environment down there as well? And is that going to be part of the sell, I guess?
Yeah, no, definitely. So we are looking to do like environmental talks, walks when it allows, in terms of like seasonally as well. So like in the past, we've done with previous members, we've done bat walks, which was really great. So we had a lot of engagement on that, and also now the GPC's open. That gives an opportunity from my side to do presentations, and then we can take them out onto the course and do like bat walks, or I don't know, a bird walk or something like that. So that is built into our business plan, I would say, is incorporating the public for the environmental side as well.
Do you think this is the kind of model you've established working here? Do you think that's something that other golf courses should take on? Is there lessons to be learned from Guernsey?
I think so. Yeah, no, I think there is. Absolutely. I think if you've got the right people, and then, well, especially with Steve and Maggie being at the top, they've always been very environmentally and sustainably conscious, and that's kind of fed down, really. So I think when you've got the right people in, and then I think golf courses should probably strive towards being a bit more environmentally, because, climate change and all that.
big areas of land as well, isn't it? I guess like when you took on this role, to get to the point that you've got to now, could you ever have envisaged it? What were you thinking then, and have you got to where you wanted to get to, or has it been better, and why?
I think it's got. Do you know what? I was quite. I was a little bit like apprehensive, and I always at times when you're a project, you're like, oh, is it going to be as good as I wanted it to be? But actually, now that I look back on the past, I don't know, like 6 years, and I'm like, actually, I feel like we're in a really good place in terms of like the biodiversity side, even like last year was a huge hit in terms of like dragonflies and damselflies. And then this year I'm starting to survey them again and I'm like, oh, I think it's gotten a little bit better. So it's actually really nice to see that from the progress from 6 years ago, it's actually better than I expected. So yeah.
And I guess something you'd hope to carry on building on. And
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I think that will be the aim, is to carry on monitoring the area for years to come. We're not just going to stop. Will always be, that piece of land will always be either a golf course or a nature reserve, and it can be both. I'm seeing both at the moment, so yeah.
That's fantastic. All right, that's great. Yeah. Thank you for your time. It's been really interesting.
Good.
Cheers. Yeah. Thank you for tuning into this podcast. If you've got all this way, I'm really hoping that you've enjoyed our work. There's a few things you can do though to support us. Follow, like, subscribe, share, whatever you can do to help spread the word of the quarry. The other thing you can do is head on over to our website, where you can become a member and really support independent local news.